facts from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then it feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your Watchlist coming in on May 18th, 2021, and Michael Burry and Warren Buffett make big bets on the stock market. And I got 3 stacks that I'm looking at coming in tomorrow, but today was a much more relaxed day. It started to look like Monday of last week, but instead of selling off, we kind of held up. But you can see we gapped down on every index, and we still closed red with the Dow being the leader, but pretty much still in this range from where we were at last week, which was kind of at the middle or bottom end of the range we saw the week before that. Now, you're getting a bunch of 13F forms. We're starting to hear from a lot of investors. Michael Burry bet big against Tesla, and then Warren Buffett also made some changes. He cut a little bit of our Abbey vibe, but he also cut bank stocks too. So we got a lot to talk about. You still got the Fed minutes. That is going to be on Wednesday, and that is going to be the key. But overall, there is still a lot of uncertainty here in the market, and people are waiting for data or even looking at momentum and asset prices to decide to make a move. So I hope you're ready, but we got a lot to talk about. Want to go over what happened in the market today, what we're looking at tomorrow, the plays that we made today, and then the plays that we have for tomorrow. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes for open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free 99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/the-stock-market. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life. And yes, if railroads and railroad stocks was the most exciting part of your day, then yeah, we are the place to be. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watch below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything, post them below and source that info. Shout out to chat, baby. So right off the bat, like I said, the minutes are going to be on Wednesday, and that is probably going to be the most important thing. There was stuff overseas, and you can kind of see what's going on in Taiwan and Singapore. Their markets aren't doing the best right now, and that will be something to watch. Again, we've been talking about the currencies. However, like I said yesterday on the watch list, and even more so after seeing today, there wasn't that much news or anything really. It's looking like the minutes is going to have a little bit more importance. So watch out for that. There was no other news today. There was the real estate data. It wasn't that surprising. And even on top of that, bonds and the commodities didn't move much. But now what people are looking at is also where the dollar is at. And that's one thing that you could see from overseas pressures or now with the minutes on Wednesday. So if you guys know how TLT's been looking, I keep talking about this on stream. I keep putting it up on the watch list. Even with what Michael Burry decided to do today, he actually took the same TLT put play. Not the exact strike or time, we don't know, but he is also betting against this. This is what I was saying here. There's a lot of people and a lot of big money looking here, but now if we come to the dollar, you kind of have a similar situation here because it is also at a key level and this could lead here. So firmly, the market is really waiting to see what's going to happen here, and that's what I think on Wednesday. It could have an effect, or if there is any other policy or any other updates or big move in other commodities, that will be the key to watch. So even though it's a little bit boring now, don't underestimate for things to kind of get a little bit jumpy as we've been seeing. So pay attention to the momentum there. But at the same time now, you're getting ready for the new quarter, and now you're seeing what happened in the last quarter. So you could call this new positioning, but it's kind of old. You don't really have too much insight into it. You guys could always check this out on the NASDAQ or anything of that nature, but we got a lot of 13F forms, and pretty much what's happening, a lot of funds are reporting their changes, hedge funds, all of that, and we're getting to see kind of how they've positioned and what they're getting ready and what they've bought and sold. So with that, we saw some very, very interesting things, and now what I even want to watch out for after that is another wave of these 13Fs, because you will start hearing funds. It's not just Warren Buffett and Michael Burry. Little by little, as we progress into the quarter and get started here, you will see, and this could give you an idea as to where some big money has positioned and whether or not it was counterintuitive to some of the plays that have been really, really winning in the last quarter or this first half of the year. So you guys could always look this up on NASDAQ. A lot of people ask, but here are the 13Fs. This is how they'll look here. You could pull these up on Edgar. I got this from the website that does not have a hedge, but this is Michael Burry's portfolio, and what he did pretty much from the beginning of the year till now this first quarter, he placed a $534 million put play on Tesla, $171 million on the TLT puts, $165 million on Alphabet and Facebook, and then he also got another $55 million on TBT, which is another ETF. It's like the UVXY for bonds, and these were all new positions. And then he also grabbed puts on the IWO, kind of like the Russell, calls on CVS and NetsApp, cut these stakes in red, and pretty much green is anything new that he added. So it's really interesting to see here, but 40% of the whole portfolio is just on a Tesla put alone. Now coming to Buffett, he added $12 12 million shares of Verizon. He cut US Bank Corp. He cut a little bit of General Motors, cut Chevron, cut a little bit of our Abivi here, and then he even did, I think one thing, he really clapped Wells Fargo here, which was interesting because he recently put this on, and this is something I'm really going to be wanting to watch here. And then the stock that's getting a little bit of attention here is AON. He actually added a new position here. So these are two big names. A lot of people know about them, and again, I think Burry's is very interesting, but now you are going to get a lot more of those, so I would be expecting that. And then finally now, you saw what happened with Elon and Bitcoin and all of that, but the real big key, a lot of people are talking about it. They've been waiting for their moment. I know it. I saw it in the chat, but gold and silver, it is pretty much now shifting with digital gold and silver, or some of these digital gold safe haven assets, because you're seeing a lot of weakness. It's happened really fast in the crypto space, but now gold is getting back up to the levels that it hasn't seen since January. So it's creating a nice little flip-flop here. And really what I want to watch for is just the general market momentum and even sentiment towards both of these assets as well as the general market. And why I'm saying that, because a lot of people think gold and Bitcoin can't win, but no, they have won at the same time before. So what we really witnessed in this last year or so is that you had that reflation trade. A lot of the commodities ended up going up. Gold really did run, and it kind of cooled off for a little bit, but pretty much they've just moved at different times and different paces. So I think this might create an opportunity for gold and silver to move. Bitcoin and Ethereum and the rest of the crypto might calm down a little bit, but I think it might be able to match up. And if there really is a move with the dollar TLT, I wouldn't be surprised to see the digital safe havens be paired up and ready to go as well too. So there's a lot happening, but at the same time, it's operating a little bit slow and the market is waiting for something. So it's going to be exciting. We're probably going to get a lot more information as we start getting into June in the second half of the year. So I hope you're ready and prepared, but that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So, right off the bat, I got 4 different plays. Kind of surprising here. I know one of them, AMC, I know it surprised me. It's moving a lot right now after hours. We'll talk about that. But 4 different plays kind of related to what we saw here. But the first thing I really want to watch is Wells Fargo and banks. So, seeing how Buffett kind of put on strength at the beginning of the year with all the value in that Dow rotation, to see him cut a majority of that position, that may be a first sign here. And that's what I want to look at. But I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I said, watch out for the banks, because that could kind of give you some health here with this Dow rally. So depending on how that plays out, it will be interesting. I did play that one play on JP Morgan both ways. We still had those September calls, but I'm not too sure if the puts are still there. So I will be watching that tomorrow. That is going to be the first play. The second play is Viacom. I made this play today. I talked about it. We saw the AT&T deal, and it actually did a lot better in the morning. So I really liked the play, and I thought it would get some steam from the whole AT&T deal in general, kind of being a sympathy there, and the fact that it was kind of dead. I thought this type of news might be able to awake it, and I got a decent play with a decent amount of time for not too much. I spent like $50, so I thought it was gonna hit, but pretty much as the news digested with AT&T and then this talks of their dividend and all that getting cut, they really got clapped. And yes, they are talking about the dividend going lower, but they're merging into this new company, and I believe as a shareholder you will get shares in that new company. So it's kind of interesting here. I want to see how that's going to play out. We will still need a lot more data, and it is not fully, I guess, executed yet, but CEO had some really good things to say. Market took it positively at first, but the news of the dividend, and even Kramer got to clap them a little bit because of them being an income. He said if you want income investment stocks, you should probably get rid of AT&T now, because they have been that dividend aristocrat. It's a high dividend. They don't really move much. It has lately, but a lot of people wanted AT&T for that dividend, so I could understand that. However, I'm still holding in the long term. I think they'll be pretty interesting, and depending on how it plays out, it may be able to offer the best of both worlds now, as it gives you some of that growth. So as far as the play that I made, it's not showing up, but I grabbed a Viacom September call, $60 strike, and I spent $57, and even throughout all day, it pretty much only moved like $7 or so, not too much, which I was surprised because it shot up and then came down. So even after this move, that contract barely got clapped, lost less than 10%, so didn't pay too much on it. I'm going to keep watching that one. It's $50. We'll see how that plays. Just wanted a little bit of small exposure. Again, that news, I thought it would be able to awake the Viacom, which has been sleeping because of Archegos, but apparently not today. So watch them. Watch AMC. Again, you can see it here. This is going to be the third play. They're shooting up after hours right now, but why I like it is because it's pretty much back to those GameStop levels. And what I mean by that, it's back to the price almost that it was in January when there was that huge short squeeze, but realistically, there is this big army behind it, or at the very least, it's this social media presence. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people love it, and they have been holding. So to see this one kind of revive back to those levels, especially after everything that happen. I think that one's going to be really interesting, and I'm still holding those shares that we got in August. So we didn't buy it at the beginning of the year. We bought it in the middle of a lot of stuff. We kind of like this. It was a small share play. So I've been holding this the whole time, and what I'll look to do, sell covered calls if it does go a little bit crazy here. So that is going to be the third play. And then finally for the last play here, JWN Nordstrom. So Dillard's went crazy and their EPS is $6 a share now. I was really surprised when I saw this, but if you remember that Nordstrom news and kind of how it's been playing out, it's kind of been moving a little bit with it. So I like that we have those plays in May, but they are kind of in the gutter there. It lost some of that momentum. So what I want to look for here is the shares, if anything, but I want to see how it plays out today. Again, retail did very good. So there was already that premium. I want to see if it holds up, but you are seeing some interesting moves in this space, but I really like them. And especially if we see any more tech weakness or anything like that, I think they might be able to be a standout. So watch them. As far as everything else, I'm going to be watching AT&T again. We have the shares. We didn't make a play. I want to watch AON. This was that Warren Buffett pick. I believe, I want to say Nancy got into this one as well too. This company looks very familiar. I feel like somebody else took a stake in it recently. So watch them. Watch Abivi. I'm surprised they didn't react too negatively to the Buffett cutting a little bit. Obviously, he's still holding, but he kind of made a day trade. He got a second ad, sell it out. He's Warren Buffett, man. So I'm going to definitely keep my eye out for them. Watch Ford. They did a little bit good here, especially after hours, but now if you watch WDC or STX, a lot of the chip companies started doing good, so maybe that could be a good sign, and I think that could set them up here. A lot of people even asked if Ford would do something like AT&T, maybe a spinoff or again, related to their dividends and all that. So that's interesting, but I'm not too sure. Watch them. Watch Amazon. Really caught my attention today because they were a really big leader. So they had some news about announcing like medical device and testing kits, but even when the NASDAQ was really down in the morning, they were leading up again, even at close. NASDAQ down 0.3, 0.4. They closed 1.6. So they had that good earnings. Despite what we've been seeing with the market back and forth, you saw a lot of strength out of them. So I really like that. I really love Roblox. Our options came back up a little bit here, but they are still down 50% after that first day. Again, it's been a very volatile ride here. So I may want to double dip on the short-term contracts, but at the very least, I'm still in this play with the shares. It's now towards the top end. And this is what I kept bringing up here. The volume is just dramatically increasing at a higher price here. So this is a very good sign. If it breaks through that 80 or anything higher, this thing could go up a lot. Again, I believe Jim Cramer is the one who said this stock could double from here. So I'm going to be keeping my eye out for that. And then Nordstrom's, like we said, watch AMC. Walmart is going to have earnings tomorrow, and again, they have their little Walmart Plus stuff. I think those subscription numbers could be decent and interesting, and now you even see where they're at to start 2021. So Walmart is at a key level. If it does bad, it might actually become a really good pickup. If they do good, we'll see, but either way, I would be watching out for that continuation. Watch UWMC. A lot of you posted a lot about this. I think this is getting a lot of hype on Wall Street Bets. It's good to see the volume come up, but people are talking about both short squeeze as well as the share buyback, not to mention just the overall option activity was crazy. And the one thing I will say, Archite was down today and they outpaced heavily, but you know, we've watched UWMC for a while, so to see it run up and then hold, especially after these last few days, this is going to get very interesting, but now more so. I hope you guys could really see the trend. If it could hold these greens over here, this is starting to kind of break out the trend. At first, it was looking like Coinbase, it didn't want to have any green days. We've suffered through all this, but you really haven't had more than 3 or 4 days of up, and even then, this one only lasted for like 2 days. So you're getting higher volume. It's becoming more attractive, even just in general. The reason why I like it even before yesterday, I don't really care about the short squeeze, all that. Again, I have like 5,000 shares of this company, but the thing I'm really liking about it now, they've guided towards higher rates, saying they would perform good, and I'm just viewing it as a value stock. A lot of these companies that just get consistent income and pay dividends, they've all ran up except for UWMC. It's out of favor, so it's offering a nice dividend and all of that. But again, I am extremely biased. I own a lot of it, and I love them. Even though they broke my heart, they broke my heart. So watch them. Watch KSU. This was the railroad stocks, even like CP and all that. People are talking about the bidding war and kind of how that's playing out. This one's going to be very risky. Be very careful with those options there. You can find some for cheap. If it gets expensive, watch out. But why I say be careful, because it's literally in buyout mode. So when there's already an agreement on the table, you're trying to buy a put, like the stock is going to go up. Someone's going to buy it. So you have to like be careful buying out of the money puts on that. However, if it does become cheap, you might be able to snake something. So watch them. them. Watch Tesla. I think this is going to be very key to watch. Elon came out this morning and said they didn't sell any, but pretty much like I said, I just think he made a mistake. Obviously, you could kind of be like, wait a minute, what did he do the first time? Again, a week ago, he said he doesn't want to take Bitcoin anymore, all of that, but he said he's not going to sell. The problem yesterday, he just got into it with some trolls and he gave a response kind of insinuating he might sell, came back this morning, said he wasn't. I think this kind of just got a little bit out of hand. However, it did have repercussions, and now the key to watch is Bitcoin is probably holding anywhere from like 30 to 40,000 Bitcoin on its balance sheet, and they got in around like 35 or 38,000. Now Bitcoin hit 40,000 or 42,000 bounce. So he said he didn't sell today. I don't know. Maybe everybody should ask him every day for him to tell us, but why this starts to hurt everybody now, because if it drops below there, that's going to start hurting Tesla and their balance sheet. So that's where it gets interesting. And even like MSTR, the rest of those companies, they got clapped too. So watch them, watch Coinbase, and man, this one's disgusting. Like absolutely, I'm just shocked. But they came out after hours with a $1 billion convertible bond offering, which is very surprising. Some people are saying, well, this is why you would go public. I mean, again, it just, they came out 3 weeks ago. So for them to already come down here and try to raise more money and do all this, it's very, very surprising in general. So maybe you could look at the bright spot. It's highlighting, it's getting more institutional investors. There's many ways, but we got this with the long term. Kind of sad about that because this one is whack. But nonetheless, I'm still going to be holding my shares. You know, my strategy doesn't change. Even though I'm surprised, I still do like the company. Hopefully they use all this cash and then they're able to really just squash the competition. But I don't know if they want to go full Uber mode. We might have to see. But that was very interesting. I want to see how that plays out tomorrow, especially if there's options. And then Dgx Quest Laboratories, they got clapped a little bit off the Amazon news. So I want to see how this plays in Amazon's little home test kit stuff. But they kind of fall out of favor, get hit with the Amazon effect. We haven't seen that in a while, but maybe it might come into fruition here. So we'll see. And then finally, baby, good old TLT. You just need to watch this level right here. Like I showed you in the beginning, the bonds have already dropped and they're waiting here. If anything, you've seen a little bit more movement here in the dollar, and there's a lot of other factors at play, but hopefully you guys are seeing if you're going to get a green light on the market, you're going to see something happen with one or two of these assets. So it's going to be a matter of patience. And at the same time, if you see gold, commodities, or any other inflation indicators get a head start, that could lead into it. Or at the very least, if you see a piece of news and it's related to policy or anything, and you see one of these snap, that is going to be your trigger right there. Again, watch the snitches, baby. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to give yourself some credit, baby. Came a long way, but the goal loves you. I love you. I'm gonna see you in the morning. Let's go.